Imagine a story. You've got powerful figures, hidden connections, questions that have lingered for decades, and suddenly, bang, they collide with the force of a congressional subpoena. That's exactly the kind of story we're diving deep into today. We're looking at what happens when these long-running controversies get yanked back into the spotlight by new legal moves. Specifically, the House Oversight Committee subpoenas just issued to Bill and Hillary Clinton, tying them directly into the ongoing Jeffrey Epstein investigation.
Right. And in this deep dive, we'll help you navigate the key conflicts here. The official government story versus this really persistent public skepticism. We'll look at the timing, why now, and this whole web of related allegations that are bubbling up again. We're going to examine the details from the sources you've gathered, sorting through the claims and counterclaims so you understand what's really going on.
Yeah, our mission today is to sort of cut through all the noise. We want to pull out the most important bits of information from these sources, give you some surprising facts, maybe in enough context so you feel really well informed, but, not overwhelmed. So let's unpack this. Okay, let's start right at the top. The latest development that's got everyone talking, August 5th, 2025. House Oversight Chair James Comer issues these subpoenas. And they're legally binding subpoenas for depositions. Now, just so you know, a deposition isn't some casual chat. It's sworn testimony. Under oath. It's serious evidence gathering.
Exactly. And the names on the list, well, they're definitely causing a stir. You've got former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton, she's scheduled for October 9th, and former President Bill Clinton on October 14th.
And it doesn't stop there.
No, not at all. The scope is pretty broad. There are 8 other, let's say, high-profile figures from recent administrations called in, too. We're talking former FBI directors James Comey, Robert Mueller, plus former attorneys general like Merrick Garland, William Barr, Loretta Lynch. The list goes on.
Wow. Even the Department of Justice itself got a subpoena for its Epstein files.
That's right. With an August 19th deadline, it really shows the full weight of congressional authority being thrown behind this.
It feels like a significant legal challenge. The sources we looked at suggest it's aiming for, quote, legal accountability. The kind some claim the Clintons have, managed to avoid before.
And look at the calendar. The timing is interesting. These depositions are deliberately set during what the sources call a heated political calendar.
So not an accident then?
Doesn't seem like it. It looks like it's designed for maximum media coverage. To really ramp up the scrutiny on the Clintons and what these sources see as their vulnerabilities, it's calculated to dominate the news cycle.
Okay, but amidst all this pressure, we should be clear about the official stance.
Absolutely crucial. Back on July 7th, 2025, the Justice Department and the FBI put out a 2-page memo. They stated pretty plainly they found no evidence Epstein blackmailed anyone prominent, no client list, and no evidence he was murdered. They stuck to the official finding. Suicide.
But that conclusion wasn't exactly met with universal acceptance.
Not even close. There was, and is, significant skepticism. And it's coming from, different parts of the political spectrum. Sources mention the political far right, people like Alex Jones, but also some Democrats, like John Oliver is mentioned.
So a real gap between the official report and what many people feel are suspect.
Precisely. And that's why you see ongoing efforts in Congress for more transparency, like Representatives Thomas Massie and Ro Khanna pushing their Epstein Files Transparency Act. They want to force a vote to release all the government files related to Epstein.
And Epstein files? That means everything.
Yeah.
Investigative notes, court docs.
Yeah, presumably anything the government holds, findings, documents, records, the whole lot.
Okay, let's pivot specifically to Bill Clinton's direct ties to Epstein. This is obviously central to the subpoenas. The flights on Epstein's private jet, the so-called Lolita Express, come up constantly.
They do. And what's notable is that his team has acknowledged some flights. His spokesperson, Angel Urena, confirmed back in 2019 that Clinton took a total of 4 trips on Epstein's plane. This is back in 2002 and 2003.
And the reason given was Clinton Foundation work.
That was the official line, yes. Trips to Europe, Asia, Africa for foundation business.
Then there's that photo, the 2002 picture of Clinton getting a massage.
Right. From Shantae Davies, she was 22 at the time, worked as Epstein's personal masseuse. The photo was taken on Epstein's plane after a long flight to Africa. It's visually jarring for many.
But Davies herself, who later accused Epstein, had something to say about Clinton on that trip.
She did. She stated, despite how bizarre the photo looks, that President Clinton was a perfect gentleman during the trip, and I saw absolutely no foul play involving him. So her direct account is important context there.
Okay. But beyond the confirmed flights in that photo, the sources point to other, more disturbing allegations.
Yes, and this is where it gets murkier and relies on victim accounts or unsealed documents mentioned in the sources. One victim reportedly claimed Epstein told her, quote, "Bill Clinton likes them young." Other sources mention unsealed documents and photos allegedly showing Clinton on the plane with a, quote, "sex slave."
And there are even claims, according to the sources, of a specific Clinton-connected reason why some high-profile individuals allegedly involved haven't faced charges.
That's a claim made in some of the source material, yes. It speaks to a broader suspicion about influence.
Which brings us to that Phoenix tarmac meeting. That definitely fueled speculation.
Oh, absolutely. Bill Clinton meeting secretly with then Attorney General Loretta Lynch on an airport tarmac. While his wife, Hillary Clinton, was under FBI investigation, some sources flat out state they believe this meeting was, quote, designed to protect his wife from prosecution.
Whether true or not, the optics were certainly challenging.
Extremely. And the sources often present this as part of a pattern. Even though Clinton spokespeople have always maintained he knew nothing about Epstein's crimes, these connections and alleged incidents keep coming up.
Okay, let's shift focus now to Hillary Clinton. These subpoenas, as you mentioned, are being framed by some sources as, like, a moment of reckoning, attempting to bring, quote, legal accountability she's managed to avoid her entire political career. That's pretty strong language.
It is. And what's happening, it seems, is the Epstein probe is becoming a kind of hook to re-examine many older controversies. The sources connect these dots into that broader narrative of, let's call it, avoided accountability. For instance, the Clinton Foundation finances.
Right. The sources mention suspicious foreign donations.
Yes, specifically highlighting things like $17 million in foreign donations allegedly concealed. There are reports cited that the foundation's auditor was sanctioned for numerous material issues, including, apparently, ignoring a huge $483 million error.
$483 million. Wow.
Yeah.
And there were questions about where the money actually went.
Exactly. One claim cited is that in 2014, only about 5.7% of the foundation's budget went to actual charitable grants. The rest, salaries, benefits, travel, other expenses, plus the allegation that more than half the non-government people who met with her as Secretary of State had donated to the foundation.
That raises questions about access and influence for sure.
It does. And adding another layer, the sources emphasize that the Biden DOJ officially closed an investigation into the foundation in August 2021, with some sources going so far as to claim, quote, FBI destroyed all evidence.
Okay, so that combination, the financial questions, the access questions, and then the investigation being shut down.
It fuels the narrative presented in these sources about a lack of transparency or accountability. Then you have the private email server controversy, still a major point.
Hard to forget that one. She's often described in the sources as, quote, the woman who deleted 33,000 emails and somehow avoided prosecution.
Right. And the FBI did find more emails later, some with classified info, and evidence she used text messages for government business, which was also against protocol.
Didn't James Comey, the FBI director at the time, make a comparison?
He did. Sources quote him saying that a regular FBI agent using a similar private email system would be, quote, in big trouble. Some sources even claim the whole FBI probe was a sham. They point to things like a computer tech reportedly asking on Reddit how to delete a very VIP's emails.
Which, if true, certainly looks suspicious.
It feeds that perception of a cover-up, definitely. And then there's the whole bucket of allegations related to the Russia hoax, as the sources consistently call it.
This refers to the Steele dossier and the investigation into Trump's campaign.
Yes. The sources allege very directly that Hillary Clinton's campaign funded the explosive, far-fetched dossier trying to link Trump to Russia. They cite the Durham report, that was the special counsel probe into the origins of the Russia investigation.
And what did the Durham report claim, according to these sources?
That Clinton's plan to tie Trump to Russia was briefed to President Obama and VP Biden back in August 2016. The sources also highlight Durham report details alleging the FBI considered paying Igor Danchenko, a key source for the dossier, to basically keep quiet after realizing he'd lied.
Paying him to silence him.
That's the allegation reported in the sources based on the Durham findings. And there's more evidence cited showing her team paid a tech firm to, quote, infiltrate servers in Trump Tower and later the Trump White House to find a link. It's repeatedly called a disinformation campaign and a hoax in the source material.
That's a very strong, very specific set of accusations.
Extremely strong. And this narrative extends further into claims about her rhetoric and alleged media influence. Sources point to her advocating for moderating and monitoring social media content. and her controversial suggestion of formal deprogramming for MAGA cult members.
That deprogramming comment drew a lot of fire.
It did. The sources compare it to Stalinist tactics, raising alarms about free speech. And this ties into broader claims of media bias found in the sources.
That's what?
Allegations that Google and Facebook tilted results or donations her way. Even claims Amazon removed negative reviews for her book. It paints a picture, from this perspective, of a concerted effort to control information and protect certain figures.
Okay, so with all this focus on the Clintons, where does Donald Trump fit into the Epstein picture now? His stance has evolved, hasn't it?
It certainly has. During the 2024 campaign, you might remember, Trump was pledging to release the Epstein files. He even said he'd probably make the client list public.
But that changed.
Reportedly, yes. The shift apparently happened after he was told by the DOJ in May 2025 that his own name appeared in the files. Now, it's important to add, his name was redacted because he was a private citizen during the time of that specific investigation.
Okay, so his name was in there, but redacted. And now his position is?
As of mid-July 2025, his public stance, according to the sources, is that the whole Jeffrey Epstein hoax is a scam perpetuated by the Democrats. He's apparently told supporters to stop talking about it.
So a complete reversal from releasing the files.
Pretty much. He's now urging the media to focus on his own theory involving Obama, Clinton, and others allegedly trying to rig elections.
Interesting pivot. What about his actual historical relationship with Epstein?
Well, the sources confirm they were longtime friends, at least up until around 2004. There's that infamous 2002 quote from Trump calling Epstein a terrific guy who likes beautiful women as much as I do, and many of them are on the younger side.
Not a great look in hindsight.
No. And Trump also contributed a drawing and note to Epstein's 50th birthday album in 2003, described as suggestive. However, Trump maintains he banned Epstein from Mar-a-Lago in 2004.
Why? What was the reason given?
Trump claims it was after Epstein behaved inappropriately with the teenage daughter of a club member, and Trump has consistently, strongly denied ever visiting Epstein's private island. He always points the finger elsewhere, especially at Bill Clinton.
Got it. So underlying a lot of this, especially in the sources we reviewed, is this theme of political weaponization and media bias.
Yes, that's a constant thread. The narrative presented is often that mainstream media acts as a, quote, tool of the deep state, selectively reporting to shield Democrats while relentlessly scrutinizing Trump and conservatives.
Are there specific examples cited?
Sources mention one study claiming there was 4 times more coverage of Trump controversies than Hillary Clinton scandals during the 2016 campaign, and repeated accusations that media outlets ignore or, quote, bury stories that could be damaging to the Clintons. It reflects a deep distrust of media reporting from the perspective of these sources.
Okay. We've covered a lot of ground here.
We really have. It's a complex landscape, isn't it? From the specific subpoenas aimed at the Clintons and others, to these broader, long-standing allegations about finances, emails, the Russia investigation origins, it really feels like the Epstein probe has cracked open the door to relitigate, or at least re-examine, a whole host of issues.
Looking at everything we've just unpacked, what's the single biggest thing that stands out to you? What's the main takeaway for our listeners?
Well, I think it's the sheer disconnect. You have the official findings from the DOJ and FBI, no blackmail evidence, no client list confirmed, suicide conclusion reaffirmed, but then you have this incredibly intense public skepticism, you have political actors pushing hard, and now these very real congressional subpoenas with legal teeth. It just strongly suggests this story is nowhere near finished, the narrative keeps shifting, and who knows what might come out next.
It leaves you thinking. In this age where we're drowning in information, but trust seems so hard to come by, and these huge legal battles involving powerful people are constantly in the news, what would it actually take? What needs to happen for the public, for you listening, to feel like, okay, we finally have complete transparency and real accountability for everyone involved, no matter how powerful they are?